Welcome, all of you, to the Startup Impact Summit Growth Impact Stage. In this section, we are going to discuss leaving no one behind and inclusive tech. We are incredibly happy to have Rafael, Rohit, and Shiroba as our guest speaker today, and the panel will be moderated by Linka. Without further ado, join me in welcoming the panelists.
Thank you so much, Joe, and thank you for all the organizers for having me in this panel. My name is Linka. I'm currently working in a project called Youth Collab. It's co-led by UNDP and City Foundation in the Asia Pacific. So leaving no one behind and inclusiveness means a lot to us. And also today we have a lot of amazing young entrepreneurs who are really bringing this into their startup, into their social enterprises. So let's start by getting to know about our panelists. I'm gonna pass the floor to our first speaker.
Hello everyone, I'm Rohit Tiwari. My startup is based in Nepal. It's called Foodmario, and we're the first batch of Youth Collab, and super excited to be part of this panel about inclusiveness in technology. So super excited. Thank you so much, Linka, and everyone.
Thank you, Rohit. And Rafael?
Hi, my name is Rafael. I'm the CEO of Vulcan Augmetics. We're a Vietnam-based startup making robotic arms for amputees in developing nations. We are the second Youth Collab track winner and very, very happy to be here.
Thank you, Rafael. Shiroba.
Hello everyone, thank you Linka, and good to see you everyone here. And I'm Tawhida Shopa. I'm the founder and CEO of Moner Bondhu. In Moner Bondhu, English it literally means a friend of your mind, and it's a mental health care and well-being platform based in Dhaka, Bangladesh. And since 2016, we're working in this area. And good to see you here again. And I think we'll have so many exciting topics we'll discuss in the next step. Thank you so much. And of course, I have to mention the Youth Collab because of last year. Last year we won the national award from Youth Collab, UNDP, and City Foundation. And thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you so much, all the panelists, for your very exciting self-introduction. I think by now, probably you're wondering, so what is Youth Collab? Since everyone is mentioning it. So it's a project started by UNDP and City Foundation in early 2017 in Asia Pacific to empower and strengthen youth social entrepreneurship and innovation ecosystem through empowering and encouraging and supporting young people to be social entrepreneur and innovators to achieve sustainable development goals. Okay, now I think it's probably too much high level and buzzword in your mind, but don't worry, we will have a more story and more personal sharing with you. So one thing about SDGs here is a concept called leaving no one behind and bringing the inclusiveness to the society. So from more of a regional perspective, as Youth Collab covers more than 20 countries in this region. So what does leaving no one behind and inclusiveness mean to us is to understand what are the group of people that is missing in the socio-economic developments. So just give you a few examples so you can understand a little bit more concretely. But of course, the situation and context varies in different countries. For example, people with disabilities, domestic helpers, which mostly are women, and indigenous communities and LGBT communities. So there are a lot of similarities among those groups. For example, it's very, very hard for them to get a job. It's very, very hard for them to work in the formal sectors. So leaving no one behind and inclusiveness is very, very different in different countries. So the first question, which aligns with this panel, is to understand what does leaving no one behind mean to all the panelists in their context. So the first question is, I'm going to ask each one of you to share a little bit more about what is leaving no one behind mean in your context of your startup being operated, and yeah, and what's your understanding of inclusiveness in your startup, in your business? So let's start with Rohit.
Thank you, Linka. So particularly in our context, while we're based in Nepal, and the particular startup that I lead, Foodmario, is that we started with a concept where we wanted to connect home-based cooks to customers. What it actually means is a lot of people in our subcontinent, they tend to 80% of, to be specific, almost 80% of the working age women back in the subcontinent choose and decide to be at their homes. But what they're really good at, with the experience of 20, 30 years, is that they actually cook really good food. So with the technology that we built, we actually enable them to start selling food from their own comfort at their home. So making sure that finally they can start being financially able and financially contributing to their families, at the same time contributing to the entire system of the government that they were initially not part of. So making sure people who are not financially able to contribute to their family, Foodmario enabled them to start selling food from their home. So we actually created a lot of stories where a woman's aging 45 to 50, 55-year-old, they actually made their life's first income through Foodmario. So this is how we try to build this technology where we can actually amplify the talent that they have with the comfort of home, and this particular technology would want to connect them to a wider market. So with the context of Food Mario, technology has been kind of super helpful for us to connect these people to a lot of customers. And at the same time, it wasn't just the financial values that the home cooks were getting from Food Mario. It was more of like a social value as well, because one of the home cooks in Food Mario was nominated. She actually was one of the 7 women to be awarded as Women Entrepreneur of the Year award. So basically, giving the financial values as well as the social values was an important part of building this technology. So maybe at this time, technology can bring people together, and we made sure our technology would make it more inclusive for women. At the same time, people who would want to sell food from their homes. I would say basically that this was what from my personal prospect, or the country's prospect, I would say.
Thank you so much, Rohit. A lot of very inspiring story from there. Enable women to be able comfortably, create financial sources, and also be more confident. Have feel more confident in the staying in the social and family context. That's very important. So let's move on to Rafael.
We make prosthetics, so we work with people who these people feel not as an upgrade. We also believe it's about getting them back into society and changing how society sees them, which is why we have job placement services, and why the arms that we make are designed to look like a really cool robotic consumer product instead of trying to just copy the human body and blend in. Leaving no one behind is a bit more of a challenge. There are a lot of different disabilities or people who have challenges with their physical capabilities. Longer term, leaving no one behind for us means expanding the products that we offer to include people who've lost legs, people who are born with physical impairments, or people who have got sicknesses such as MS or MD, and they can get exoskeletons. Anywhere that technology can go on your body and make up for a shortfall, that's what it means for us to leave no one behind.
So just to very quickly, also to recap what you were sharing. So I guess from your perspective, leaving no one behind is actually giving people who are physically disabled an opportunity to be able to embrace the life that they weren't able to have. So it's really about giving them an opportunity to do that. So now let's move it to Shiropa.
Hi, thank you, Linka. So basically, I already mentioned Monobandhu is a mental health care and well-being platform. We are working in towards SDG 3.4. So all we want to know to inclusive all those people in Bangladesh. The last year one survey is published. It's like 20 million people in Bangladesh, and only 71% Dhaka people they're suffering mental health issues right now. During the COVID time, the situation is more decreasing. So that's why we want to inclusive all those people for who we want to make sure that mental health is a right and mental health is a real problem. No health is without mental health. So through technology, we just reach all those people every corner in Bangladesh. That's my thought and my opinion in the inclusiveness. So that's the thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiropa. Yes, I agree with you. Mental health, mental well-being is very, very important. And most of the time, if we don't take care of people's mental well-being, and it kind of sometimes it have a very bad consequences, and those people who suffer from mental well-being severely will also be the group that will be left behind. So that's indeed very, very important. Right. So, what's the initial thought of this, and what keeps you running this for so many years, and any inspiring moments that you've encountered? I know I asked so many questions in one go, but feel free to just share your story.
Also, I think that the one thing, the passion, and who are working right now in Monobandhu, everyone has a passion, and our passions, our mission is just aligned to each other. We just doing two things. It's like one is the awareness, and one is the how to we reach people. So more client, more client give us more profit. If I thinking as a very business aspect. So that's the thing, one thing. And basically, I think my passions, my team passions, and our mission is the accessible and affordable service in Bangladesh for mental health care. So we're just doing it, and even the some recognition like the Youth Collab recognition the last year, that motivated us, and that put us me in this room right now. So even the ICT award we awarded in 2017, we are one of their best startup in 2017. So many recognitions. Sometimes it's a very small compliment, small step moving forward us. So that the thing. I think that's my opinion and that my thoughts.
Thank you so much, Shiroba. I agree with you. To constantly having positive feedback from partners, from people around us is so important. And also, congratulations for winning the award from Ministry of ICT. It's a huge milestone for making your applications to be affordable and accessible for people who are in need. So let's. So I think we've talked about what is leaving no one behind, and what keep us going. I just want to ask all our panelists a question. How do you need to put extra effort and go for extra mile to reach those people, and what kind of practical suggestions that you want to give for our fellow entrepreneurs who are listening, or people who are inspired and wants to create their impact driven, inclusive, technology driven business? What kind of suggestions you can give them? So yeah, and let's also once again start with Rohit.
Thank you, Linka. This is actually a really good question where everything has to come together when you have to make certain technology which is inclusive, is kind of difficult to build. This is where I think for any startup in part of the world, you have to know that particular geography or the place where you're trying to create that impact, and you have to know the local culture on how people are going to react to it. So while we actually built this Foodmario application, the partner application that was targeted towards a lot of people who would want to stay at home. They are moderately connected to internet. They know what to do on Facebook. They actually use one of the they would use social media often, but they are not that well with using other applications. So what we did was we actually tried to get inspired by the UI UX that we had on Facebook, making sure that the application that we built can be used easily by these users from the end. So knowing your particular crowd, where knowing the customers or the vendors is very important in building your technology for them, because it has to be used locally. So doing a lot of research and making it in a way where they can use it very easily, maybe using the local languages, would help. These changes are kind of very important when you're building a very inclusive technology. I'm very sure that other panelists have their own stories as well. I would say basically these were the points that we actually made sure was taken care of. Thank you, Linka.
Thank you, Rohit. That's a very valid point. Like making sure that technology is definitely not a barrier for us to reach our customers or our beneficiary. That's a very good suggestion. And Rafael, what do you think?
We have a product that is a fairly severe need. If you do not have an arm, like our product is one of the only options you have. So anyone searching for solutions here will find us. So we have a big advantage there. For us, the biggest challenge is we do very customized hardware. It has to be fit to your body and it has to reach you wherever you are. So the biggest challenges for us are arranging the logistics so that people can actually get their hands on the product. And the other huge challenge is building trust, because a lot of these people, even when you come and offer them something free, they are quite wary of it. They're not sure what your motivation is. They're not sure if this is just something that's going to be dumped on them without support. So one of the things we also have to do is we have to build trust with them and also make it clear and transparent to them how we expect to benefit down the road. Like our business model, we sell our basic product very affordably, but for people who can't afford it, we get sponsorships. So they get the hand for free, and our belief is that if the hand helps them get work and get income, then they're going to be coming back and buying accessories, upgrades, and attachments for their whole life. And so we are very upfront about that with them, telling them, yeah, we want to help you, but we are also going to benefit, and this is how. You are going to know exactly where you stand and what you can expect.
So much, Rafael. Yes, I agree that spreading through the word of mouth and to get to reach your beneficiary is very, very keen. And also, just to be very, very sincere and transparency, just to build the trust and letting them know that you have very good intention, that you are trying to being there for them. So let's move on to Shiroba.
Okay, thank you. And I want to share one thing. Last week, we won the Call for Nation Award. So it's a very COVID response award. All through the ICT ministry organized this in Bangladesh, and we won the championship award. We're developing the first mental health app in Bangladesh and exclusive for the COVID response team. Three things. One is like confidentiality. We strictly maintain confidentiality. Number two is our approach is always like non-judgmental. And three is gender sensitivity. So people can always, and we always make sure the professional boundary to work with our team and our client. One interesting thing, people don't like our page, but they follow it. because some people, they think that if they like the page, so other people maybe judge them. Oh, you're a mental health patient. Why you are liking this page? So that's the one thing. That's why we created more awareness event. So even the awareness building program, we reached the more than 20 million people in Bangladesh through our awareness event. So that's the thing. We always looking something new ideas through innovation, through technology. And right now we are developing our app, and it is the meditation based for the young, for the adult, even the people who are suffering for domestic violence, especially the women. So we have the special feature for the women. So that's the thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shiroba. I think what I've learned from all of you and has been summarized very well through Shiroba's sharing. I guess there are two things I've learned so much from all of you. So first is, really understand your thinking from the perspective of your beneficiaries, of your clients. And the second one is actually very, very important, is making people feel comfortable using our service, using our products, because they might be social stigma and also stereotype of letting people not feeling comfortable of having access using our products. So really trying to make this awareness and build the trust is so important. So I think I've asked enough questions, even though I still have a millions more, but I would like to give some of questions opportunity to the audience here. So I can see a question that is going to Rohit. Of course, other panelists are welcome to share. So the question is, how have you and your startup been coping with COVID-19?
Yes. So recently, after the government lockdown that happened in Nepal, the first few the industries that were hit badly was one of the food tech industries as well, because we deal with hundreds of people every day on the both end from the home cook side as well. At the same time, with the thousands of customers who actually use the service. So we had to come up with something that would assure that at least the company is alive throughout the period, because startups like ours, we actually don't really have that much of a runway, the cash runway with us. uh, so what we actually, after 15 days of lockdown, we started a different vertical called Food Plus, where we introduced essential deliveries to Foodmario, making sure that the company, the brand is alive. We're doing something. We're making sure that the company keeps the team intact. So we turned into a different vertical called Food Plus. And over the time, after doing essentials delivery for a month, we started a different vertical as well, where we weren't before. It was getting restaurants as well. So making sure that this is the time where restaurants need us as well. So we started, now we have three verticals to Food Mario. One is home cooked food, one is essentials, and now we have restaurants as well, making sure that that the ecosystem is created around it and everyone actually survives through lockdown. And we're actually getting good orders for all the verticals, and I'm very strong that we're gonna be keeping these all verticals even after this lockdown.
Mm. Thank you so much, Rohit. It's very amazing to see that how quick that you adapt to the situation, because I think leaving no one behind and being inclusive is one thing before COVID-19, is another thing during the COVID-19. So I'm very glad that you did that. Maybe Rafael and Shiroba, do you want to share how is your startup been coping during this time? Yeah. Okay. So let's start with Rafael. Understood
Super
correctly.
quick summary. COVID came, we continued our R&D program, but we also opened up our maker platform and connected with local 3D printers and small manufacturers, so we could make PPE like face shields and masks, and boxes that they use to intubate people in hospitals. So for us, it
Wow.
was just, let's find something else we can also make a network to help people out. And that was our sort of COVID response.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's actually very, very inspiring that you are also supporting, the response of COVID-19 as well. So Shiroba?
Yeah. And first of all, I want to share my deepest gratitude to UNDP and the Youth Collab team. Because of them, we just jumped at our all services in online, and we served the last 2.5 months more than 2,000 people through our online services, and even we are just offering the 24-hour tele counseling and video counseling, and and day and night were all the clock around everyone's every from 20 districts from Bangladesh, even the Singapore, Malaysia, and the other migrant people, they're seeking our help, and we serve 2,000 people. That's a very amazing thing, and I really am really grateful to the UNDP and Youth Collab team. So because of the March 18 in Bangladesh, the first COVID patient found, and so all our services we just put in the online. And at that time, Youth Collab contacted us, and even the Faiz, and he's a really, really amazing person. And we just, and overnight, we just contacted our MEU, contract the sign, and just keep the services.
Thank you so much, Shiroba, and thank you all the panelists for sharing your inspiring journey. We're now to at the end of this panel discussion, and I truly believe that they are a bigger world and larger world that we haven't seen, and a lot of group of people who are seemingly invisible to us that actually need us to find them. But thanks to all of you, they were able to access to those products and services that are otherwise not available to them. So you guys are all true heroes, making the world a better place with, making a room for marginalized communities or being ignored communities. So with that, I would like to conclude this panel. I see there are a lot of questions and excitement from the audience. So I would like to give each panelist a chance to leave your personal contact or places that you want to direct people to check what are the awesome works that you are doing. So let's start once again with Rohit, and yeah.
Thank you so much for this panel discussion. It was actually really a learning experience from my side, from all of you. I couldn't even imagine the fact that how a manufacturing unit like yours, Raf, can change so quickly into building something else for COVID. So it was kind of learning experience from all of you. At the same time, if you want to ask me more questions, if you have any questions, you can connect to me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. I'm all over the place. And you can email me as well at rohit@foodmario.com. So this is my email ID. And I would say this is it. And thank you so much again for Youth Collab, for Linka, Cynthia, everyone here. And definitely looking forward for more questions and more panel discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. Rafael?
Yep, so again, thanks for having us as well. It's been a delightful experience, even with the dodgy Zoom links and Vietnamese internet. For Vulcan, you can find us at wearevulcan.com, or our Facebook is Vulcan Augmetics. I am on LinkedIn, of course, and if you want to email me, it's Rafael@wearevulcan.com. That's it. So thank you very much. Thanks for Youth Collab, and again, Linka, it was lovely to see you in chat. And
thank you so much. Yay! Thank you so much, Rafael. Shiroba.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Linka, Cynthia, and that team. Because thanks for having me here, and I really enjoyed this session and the discussion, and I learned from the other people. And this is a very amazing thing. Sometimes we need to share our thoughts and ideas to each other and accomplished our ideas. So thank you for everyone, and you can also reach me anywhere like the Moner Bondhu page in Facebook and my Facebook profile and through my LinkedIn. And my, of course, my email address. I just put the chat in my email address, tshiropa@gmail.com. And so, thank you, everyone. Take care of your mental health and stay safe.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think that's all of the panel. Check their Facebook, check their LinkedIn page, and we'll see you next time.